Hello, this is Jack and Crystal here with Awkward Conversations and Dirty Secrets. We're on episode number 5. So pretty exciting. We got a little bit of time to get to this one because I did tell you in the last episode that we were going to Rocklahoma, which is a music festival in Pryor, Oklahoma with heavy metal bands. And we were going to do a podcast there. Well, guess what? We were busy. So much bands and so many things going on. And I got the excitement and fun of my life to get to interview some bands. For my YouTube, Gentle Peeps Creative Studios, Sign of Lives. So those are looking on YouTube, this band right here, and also Perseus. I got one of their shirts too, and my wife really loves this band, and the boys and us, and my wife also love this band too. We got some neat little bracelets to wear from Sign of Lives, and Rockavet from Jason Polk. Just some great things that went on in Rocklahoma, and I really want to also shout out a few other things that real quick before we get into this podcast. Did you know that I'm excited to say, and I hope you're watching now, people United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, Ukraine, Netherlands have all watched our podcast. That is amazing to think that people from all the other countries are watching. So thank you. We'd love for you to email Crystal at wingsandrelationships.com. Let us know who you are. We'd like to shout you out, or if you have a question, Crystal at wingsandrelationships.com. Let her know that you're watching from overseas, because that is so fascinating to us to hear that. We want to make sure that you heard before the podcast or in the middle. I can't remember where I'm gonna put it yet. Anyway, Anchor is the one that we use for our podcast. It's free to put onto your podcast. You can podcast and put it on Anchor for free, and then they'll put it on Spotify and Apple and Google like they do ours. And so they're definitely one of our sponsors now. So we appreciate Anchor sponsoring us in that fact. We don't make really any money from them yet. It'll be a long time before we make any money from them, but it's still nice that they're shouting us out. Also, in other places that we don't make money from yet, but some of our sponsors is Naked Wines, because you know my wife and I definitely like to have our little wine while we're sitting here chatting and talking. And then NYX. What is NYX?
It's pronounced NYX.
NYX? Yeah.
Mixed.
It's
It's
makeup.
cosmetics.
It's what
yeah.
you wear, right?
Mhm.
It's cosmetics
Yes.
you wear. So if you want to have those type of cosmetics and look into that, you can go on to our wingsandrelationship.com site under Awkward Conversation Dirty Secrets, and you will find a friends and family 30% off. Just click on that right underneath the little display of the thing, and you can check that out. Also, Dr. Squash. Dr. Squash is amazing. We got all the soaps. Squatch. I can't say it. Dr. Squatch. Now they slap me. They're gonna come slap me with a big giant gorilla guy.
Yes.
But we use them. We get a lot of stuff from them for our soaps and different things. The boys, they love them, and a lot of their products are super awesome.
And a couple of things.
And the commercials are
sorry,
fun too.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The 30% off on NYX right now is only through the 23rd of September.
That's right. It starts the 17th.
Yes, it starts the 17th and it goes through the 23rd. And so
Hurry.
NYX is very affordable. That's why I like it. And they have very vibrant colors, which for those of you that know me, know that I like vibrant colors. So affordable plus the 30% off is a really good deal. And the Dr. Squatch right now, for any of you that know us, I'm a freak about not liking any kind of chemicals or anything like that in things that we use, and Dr. Squatch does not have any of those things. And the guys are like, we don't really care, but
Right.
I do. And if you guys have ever watched the Dr. Squatch commercials, they're hilarious. But anyway, they just came out with some Star Wars products, so pretty cool. If you want to check that out, they do have those.
So again, that's at wingsandrelationships.com, and you can go to our page, Awkward Conversations, Dirty Secrets, and it's our podcast. It shows different podcasts, but it has links to those affiliates that we're part of. If you do click on them, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does maybe give us a few pennies in our pocket. So helping us out. One last thing is you can also sign up for 99 cents a month, and you can sponsor us for our podcast. It's on Anchor on their page. So Anchor, just go to them look for Awkward Conversations and Dirty Secrets. And if you sponsor us for 99 cents a month, that helps us. Maybe we can get some microphones and do some more exciting things. Maybe we can kind of cut down that fan noise that you're hearing right now. but we got to keep cool because it's hot. So we'll speak up. For those who watch my videos on YouTube, I had to talk over generator, so I can be loud. That's never a problem. So anyway, we're going to get into this topic with this week, or this time. I don't know, it's been a couple weeks because we were going to do one in Oklahoma. We've had so many crazy people. It was just amazing amount of nice people. I'm going to shout out one real quick. Mr. Fireball, if you're out there, if you're watching, you're the man. Mr. Fireball, you're the man.
Yes.
All the guys from Sign of Lies and Perseus, super nice guys. Mark and Tammy from the Unplugged Raw stage, super nice people. And I could name names all day long of all the great people. Blake and Jeff with 94.1 The Point. We did an interview with them. It's just, like I said, we could go on and on all day. All the great people.
So many friends there, and everybody was just so nice and just incredibly kind to us, and we just had so much fun because everybody was so awesome to us. It was a great time.
It was, and so that kind of dives into what we're going to be talking about today. So we're talking about, are you a player?
Are you a player?
Are you a player?
So, not in the way that you would think, but it made for a fun title anyway. So, I don't know if you guys have ever seen hashtag couples that play together, stay together.
Right.
And it's true. So, it's really important for couples to play together. Whether you're dating or you're in a serious relationship or you're married, we should be playing together. We should be spending that fun time together and focusing on that and making sure that that's something that we include in our relationships on a consistent basis. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's really, really important. Having fun together actually helps us to feel more confident. Working together in the long run helps us to work through our differences and our conflicts, and it gives us the strength and encouragement to get through those times that we have. Everybody has those times in their lives and in their relationships, and when we play together and we have those fun times together, it just helps us to be closer in general, and definitely helps us to get through those times.
We'll get in. We're fixing to get into more about what all the plays about, because some people are like, play together. Yeah, I play with my wife. Yeah, definitely, or my spouse. But we'll get into the details of that.
Yeah, lots of different kinds of play, definitely. But yeah, so play is actually described as any pleasurable use of discretionary time. So just let that sink in for a second.
Is that drinking wine?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So what would you describe your pleasurable use of your discretionary time? We all have time. We all have the same amount of hours in our day. So we've all heard people say, I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. I work all the time. Well, let me tell you something. Jack and I both have full-time jobs. I'm a sales rep. I have the entire state of Oklahoma and part of Northwest Texas. So I am driving every day, like insane distances.
It's not a podcast without some kind of emergency vehicle driving by.
We had that, I think, three times on our last one. Jack works in management, so he works insane hours as well. We do this on the side, plus I have the coaching business, and we do blogs. We have kids, we have dogs. And
I have Gentle Peeps Creative Studios, which is YouTube videos, photography. I do interviews with bands, and all that. So there's a lot of stuff that we're just doing, but at the same time, we're also planning out, like, let's go to Oklahoma, right? So we spent 4 or 5 days in Oklahoma. We had to plan that out. I mean, there will be times, and we'll get into it, just spur of the moment stuff. I'll let her go go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm just jumping
but
ahead.
also our work things that we do on the side, we do a lot of those things together, and we find ways to incorporate those things together, and so we've made that part of our play time together, and it makes it more fun. It wasn't always that way.
So a couple of the boys, Caleb and Chase, actually helped me video my interviews with Sign of Lives and Perseus, and so even the boys jumping in, and Caleb has his own YouTube channel, and you can check that out. I'll put in the description in our YouTube his YouTube channel, and he's getting pretty excited and getting really good at it, and so these guys, it's the family thing. So if you can include your family to do stuff, I know my son Gage is talking about eventually doing some Twitch and gaming stuff for YouTube, and I keep telling us do it just because you've got to jump in and do it. And so back to you. Sorry, I run off on the surface.
No, I'm glad you said that, because it really is. Side note, the more time you spend with the people in your life, the more you can figure out ways to include them, and the more ways that playtime comes into focus. When I started out doing this 2.5, 3 years ago, I started out blogging. That's what I did, and I was doing it on my own, and it was fun, but it was frustrating, and I had times where it was really, really difficult and challenging for me. And one day I just said, this would be so much more fun if you did this with me. And I never dreamed that he would actually want to, and that turned into I've always wanted to do coaching, so I got certified and started doing that, and then that turned into, hey, let's do that together, and then that turned into, hey, let's do a podcast, and it's just spun off all these different crazy ways. And we've incorporated our kids into certain things, and yes, just the more time you spend together, the more time you want to spend together. I'm not saying you're not going to drive each other crazy sometimes, but it's just all about being creative and jumping out there and saying, hey, do this with me. This would be fun. Being suggestive. A lot of people are afraid to do that, and you really shouldn't be. You never know, your partner might want to do that. A lot of people are afraid that they think, oh, he would never, want to do that, or he would probably think that's boring. Well, how do you know? You don't know unless you ask. So, and make it fun. So that's part of it too, I think.
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll talk about some examples, because I got several examples when she gets to it.
So, but yeah, definitely. So your discretionary time, we all have the same amount of hours in our day, so you just have to find the time to make use of your time, if that makes sense. Managing your time well to find that time to spend together. So consistency is the key here. It's not just when it's convenient. It needs to be a consistent thing, or it doesn't really work. A lot of people think, oh, well, I happen to be going to this thing, and I'll do this, or this is fun to me, I'll drag her along. That's not really, come on, that's not what it's about, and that's not cool, and that's not going to accomplish what the goal is here, and it's not going to work out in your favor, I promise.
But there is a part here about take one for the team. That's kind of what we'll get into.
But yes, we will get into that. So consistently planning things that are something that you both enjoy.
I mean, you got together, you loved each other, and you got together because you had things that you liked to do together. Otherwise, you would never got married, or you would never be dating. You wouldn't be a couple. You wouldn't be best friends, lovers, if there wasn't certain things you loved to do together. some good friends of Crystal's and mine, Jenna and Marshall. They love to do different things together. Wrestling, they love it. I can't stand wrestling, but they love it, and they do it together. And so it's just finding those things that you love to do together. You got together for a reason, so there are all definitely going to be things that you're not going to like, that the other one does, and we'll talk about that in a little while. But you got together because you love to do things together in the beginning, right? So what change now? You've got to just work on it, just like you do. You got to work on your relationship. You got to work on love. You got to work on your friendships. You got to work on building bonds.
Exactly. So, like I said before, this definitely applies to newly dating couples and established couples. There's really no difference here, in my opinion, and especially important for newly established couples. It's so much easier, like if you start out a relationship that way, because it's solid. You're always going to do that. It's easy to have that as a kind of a priority. It is a little more difficult if you're an established couple or you've been married for a while and you haven't always done that. It's a new habit that you've got to form, and it's something that takes a little work on both parts. But you can do it. You just have to make up your mind and definitely commit to it. But are you doing that? And if you're not, why? It's really not a big deal. It's just something, like I said, that you have to commit to. So have you ever found yourself like watching other couples and being envious of them and their happiness? Like they look like they're having the time of their lives, and they're having so much fun, and they just look like they're really enjoying their relationship. You can have that too. And it's probably because they are having a great time. They're playing. They're going out and doing fun things all the time. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're probably not doing those things. If you're feeling that way, you're thinking, God, I wish, my girlfriend, my boyfriend would do that. I wish that I could do those things. Like, why can't I be doing those things? Like, why can't we do those things together? Why can't I have that kind of fun? Like, why can't I never see my guy or my girl, like, look at me like that? Like, we don't ever do things like that. Well, why not? Who says you can't do that? Who says you can't be like that? You just got to make the change. So just make the change. And for that to happen, the conversation has to happen. So communication on both parts, and you have to be willing to do that. So that's just taking that first step in that direction. And both parts have to be really open. And your partner has to be open to that as well. So yeah, couples that appear wildly in love are usually both good players together, and that's where that comes from. So how do you all hear people describe their relationships? This is funny. You guys have probably all heard people or work with describe their relationships. What do you hear them say?
Oh, we get along. we go to the movies, which I guess that's fun. Yeah, we do that some. We did that some. Mainly you hear like, we have a great time. We have a great time. Instead of like, I know when I tell people about us, I'm like, oh, did you see our podcast we did? Or did you know we went to Rocklahoma, what we did? And not that I'm bragging, it's just that I enjoy the things that we do. And like, we had pool time, we sat by the pool, we drank our wine, we went and did the art walk. There's just different things that we do together that I like to shout out. So I think a lot of times there's enthusiasm in the person's voice about what they did. I know some of them is like, I think I'm going to see if I can work some more hours because I don't want to go home. I'm bored at home. if you're bored at home, that's horrible. I mean, that's the time that you should be. Why are you bored? I don't get it. I'm never bored because there's always something I can be working on doing, even if my wife's at work. Then I'm working on my pod. I don't have a podcast. I'm working on my YouTube, or I'm working on the pool, or I'm fixing something. I'm Mr. Fix-It. I like to fix stuff around the house, and I like for my wife to come home and see that I've fixed stuff and got things tied up or whatever, because that's just how I am. I like to, I like to do that. So it's just one of those things that when you hear people talk about, they don't want to go home, they're just bored doing stuff. These are the kind of people we want to say, hey, what do you like to do for fun? What does your spouse like to do for fun? What do y'all like to do together? You need to do that more often. It's not always about going out and spending money. And we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the things that I've heard people say, I've definitely heard people say at work, like, I don't want to go home.
Yeah, I want to go home. I'd rather work.
It's sad. Like, I've had people ask me, do you want to go out? Like, I don't want to go home. I mean, and I'll go out with people from work, sometimes. But, I mean, I do want to go home. Something I don't want to go home. I'll go out. But, yeah, I've heard people, how would you describe your marriage or your relationship? Like, I've actually heard people say dull, boring, lifeless.
Death. Oh, just kill me now. Have you ever seen those guys?
Oh my God.
Please, somebody kill me
nagging,
now.
horrible, just
She's such a biatch.
ball and chain,
Can we say biatch?
You can say whatever you want, right? What are some of the things you guys have heard? How would you guys describe your relationships?
We saw some fun couples at Rocklahoma too that do crazier stuff than we ever think about doing. But that's they love doing it together. And
Yeah.
by all means, more power to them.
Yeah.
And so it's not always going to be the norm. If you have things that you like to do that are a little different, then by all means, y'all both love it. Do it.
Yeah. Definitely, and that's what it's all about. Everyone's different. And do what you love. So, of course, we've heard those couples too that, I love my marriage. I love my relationship. I'm dating this guy that's awesome. He's so much fun. Like, we have a great time together. He's so full of life. This girl that I'm with, like, she's just amazing. Like, she brings me so much happiness. Like, isn't it amazing? Like, the differences that you hear with people? Like, wow. Like,
one of our friends, Chloe and her boyfriend, always doing little fun stuff together. They're dating, and hi Chloe, and she's always talking about her and her boyfriend doing fun stuff. So you probably don't see as much as I do, but she always talking about them doing fun stuff together. And so I think that's awesome when I hear it, especially young couples. To me, that's pretty fantastic.
yes.
It's almost as good as when you see an old couple walking, holding hands. That kind of stuff, I love it. So.
Definitely. And even on like social media, not just hearing but seeing, like
Yeah.
you don't even have to hear it. Sometimes you can see it. Like,
What are you
yikes.
doing? I'm home. I'm watching TV. I want to take a bath.
They've
Oh
never
my
seen
gosh.
together doing anything. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, some people are real like strict about their just real balanced. For like, oh, my relationship is balanced. It's frugal. It's this. It's
Yeah.
so.
The ones that I go hunting, my wife goes shopping. We don't do things together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Everyone's
I'm happy.
very different.
I'm happy for
but,
y'all. Yeah.
I mean, I guess if that's what makes you happy, you might want to check and see if that's making your partner happy.
Yeah.
Because it
I've
may not
actually
be
seen
making your partner
couples that
happy.
go hunting together, or couples that
Yeah,
go shopping
and
together.
maybe their thing, but
Yeah, so.
If it's making you happy, you might want to make sure that it's actually making your partner happy, because they might be saying that it is to make you happy,
Right, and they're just like
but it may
they're
not
in the background.
in
So
truth be making
so
them happy.
unfortunately, and I'm not going to name names, but I know a couple, and I watched this guy, and and he's the leader of everything. It's all about him, and I can tell by his wife that it's all about him, and she adores him. I can see that, but feels like she's just trapped, and it's sad. So, just you got to look at that too. Are you? That's another thing. Are you shouting out your partner? That's you're doing things. I'm the world's worst at sometimes about, and you'll notice you watch one of our not old videos, but the last one I did on my YouTube. I did 94.1. We did an interview. And I'm just blah 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 blah. And they ask her why she's so quiet, and it's just because it's just how I am sometimes. I overwhelm at times, and that's just the way it is.
That's okay. I'm more talking to you. Sometimes I'm more talking.
Yeah. You do more talking than this stuff, I do.
Yeah, but that's okay. So yeah, and it's all about, as far as the playing, go back to the beginning. What first attracted you to your partner? Think about those kinds of things. What made you fall in love with your partner? What was it about them that struck you? What made you want to spend time with them? What was it about them that made you want to always be around them and want to give them all of your time? You couldn't wait to see them again. You couldn't wait to spend time with them. You couldn't wait for them to call. You couldn't wait for them to come pick you up. What was it? So what did you do for fun? What did you guys do for fun? What did you do when you went on dates? Those are the kinds of things that you want to look for. Bring those kinds of things back into play. Discovering your mutual interests. That's kind of what we were talking about before. If you're newly dating, that should be pretty easy because you're still kind of learning about each other. But if you're established, you've got to kind of go back to the beginning, like we were saying, and you might have to have that conversation again. So if you've never had that conversation,
So what are fun things you like to do? And granted, things change over time. So don't ever think that.
Yeah.
Oh, when we first started dating, Crystal and I went to a lot of movies because I love movies and I'm a movie nut. But then COVID came and they kind of cut that out for a while, and so we watched some stuff at home. But then we said, there's other interests that we like doing. So, things do change. Don't always think that we're gonna be the couple that loves to go to movies together for the rest of our lives. You won't. You may not, and you may change and find other likes.
And times change, and it's like your taste buds change every 8 years supposedly. So, I mean,
I've liked bologna forever. I've always loved bologna. Oh, sorry, taste buds.
Unless you're Jack, your taste buds probably never change.
I am
That's
probably one
a
of the
bad example.
I'm probably one of the world's worst about being a routine type of person.
That was a bad example for Jack. Just ignore that. If you're thinking about Jack, it doesn't apply. So definitely doesn't apply for Jack. So bad example on my part. Yeah.
That was a good example, but for everybody
That
else.
applied to you. So yeah, discovering your mutual interests. Have some conversations. What do you enjoy? And again, it's like, don't be Homer Simpson. Like, oh, I got you this bowling ball.
Yeah.
She hates bowling. He hates bowling. But you like bowling. So really, you got it for yourself. Don't be that person. But at the same time, like, sometimes you got to take one for the team.
So we're going to talk about that. So taking one for the team. My team is San Francisco 49ers. And I love watching them. I love listening to them. I love everything about the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana, George Kittle, and my wife. No desire whatsoever in this whole world anything about football. She likes hockey. She likes rugby. But football was not her thing. And I love NFL football when it comes to my team. I bought her a jersey. sort of a little football 49ers jersey. She'll wear it on game days just to appease me, because sometimes you understand that that person loves something, and to be a part of them, there are certain things you're gonna do. I'm not big on ballet, but we went to a ballet, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It wasn't mind blowing to me, but we went because I knew that she enjoyed it. We dressed up, we went and saw it. It was fun. So different things that we're going to do for each other on certain things. Something shouldn't be something you do all the time. You should do things that you enjoy together most of the time. But there are times that you're going to cater a little bit, take one for the team, for something that your partner likes to do. And I think that's one of our biggest ones is my football.
And I love ballet.
She loves George Kittle. George, if you're listening.
I love George Kittle. He's pretty cool. I grew up a dancer, and I love ballet. I've always wanted to go to a ballet, and I never had the opportunity. Growing up in a really small home with a single mother, and Jack knew that, and he took me to a ballet, and it just like rocked my world. So it was a huge deal for me. I like about my pants.
We gotta go again. We gotta do it again sometime.
I was just like a little girl.
We gotta do it again. It was pretty
freaking
good.
out,
I want to go to the Nutcracker next time. So anyway.
Yeah, so it was wonderful. But yeah, same thing with the football. The shirt is black, you know.
Yeah, she did have
like
a Super
my soul. So
and when they played the Super Bowl, she had a Super Bowl party for me when they went to the Super Bowl because she knew that I enjoyed it. We had friends over, and everybody left early because I almost cried because they lost. But other than that, it was pretty
a
great.
little bit awkward, just a little.
They were supposed to win.
Everyone was like, "Oh dear Jesus, Jack's he's gonna explode."
Yeah, it was rough. But so definitely taking one for the team is a huge on that fact. Just don't do it all the time. You've got to. That's something you do on occasion.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a gesture of love, and it's definitely something you should do from time to time as a gesture of love, but not something that you should just be willing to.
And guess what? You may find out that it's not so bad.
Right.
Ballet was not so bad.
Yeah.
But I grew up with ballet, so it wasn't something new to me. So that was
You
a
already
little
knew
different.
you hated it.
So it wasn't something new. I actually love the Nutcracker. The Nutcracker's great. But it's one of those things that you may find out that you kind of like some of it. Crystal doesn't really care for that stuff, but she did find out she liked George Kittle. He was a funny guy. And so she didn't mind. She liked hearing Winowski when he punts the ball. And I hate that because that means we're.
Winowski.
So there's just different things like that. Sorry, going off my rant there.
No, but it's you got the point. It's good. So yeah, just making room and time in your life for the play, like we said before, making it a priority. Just like anything else in your relationship, you have to keep these things on the front of your brain because it's so easy for them to get lost in just the mundane, like, work and, all the household stuff, the everyday just hustle and bustle.
Yeah, Crystal will text me sometimes. She'll be like, "Let's have happy hour." I'm like, "All right, I'll meet you there." And we'll have happy hour
on the way home from work.
Real quick, or I'll tell her, I say, "Hey, Friday's second Friday art walk."
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, so it's reminding that person too, because sometimes we're busy and we forget that there's fun things that we can do together, and you may forget one of the things that you love to do together, and if your spouse or loved one or girlfriend, boyfriend kind of reminds you, and say, "Hey, let's see if we can have time to knock this and do this, and spend time together." That's important.
So we like to do happy hour because I'll meet him on the way home from work because about that time, if we can meet before we get home, kids don't know, and we can meet without them.
A little snack, have a little drink, and it's just time to communicate.
They don't know where we are.
Yeah, just sit down and have time together.
It's kind of like running away. Nobody knows where we are, nobody bothers us. It's just us, and it's nice. So they start texting us. We're like, "Where are you?"
So that's where
We're not home yet.
that's where I kind of go into the next deal is make it a priority, because that's part of making it a priority. If you don't make fun time, playtime together a priority, then chances are you're gonna be just not doing it. You're gonna come home and you're gonna sit. And unfortunately, I grew up watching the evening times when my dad worked really late and come home and watch TV and go to bed. That was it for we. Of course, my parents, we did a lot of stuff on weekends. We had a lot of great vacations, but the mundane of every day, of coming home, sitting down, watching TV. And I grew up thinking that's not what I want to do. I mean, we watch our shows and different things like that, but that's not our goal. Is to come home, fix dinner, eat, sit down, watch TV the rest of the evening. And I'm happy that we don't do that. I don't think I could be with somebody that just wanted to watch TV all the time. There's more stuff in life to do.
Yes.
Sorry, I took your next.
No.
I took your next one there.
I'm glad you said that, because I see a lot of couples that do that, and if that's what you enjoy, by all means. But I don't know about the rest of you, but when I get home, like, I'm so tired, like, I'm done. I don't want to go anywhere else. So during the work week, it's a good, like, pit stop for me, because by the time I'm home, I'm done. Like, we do things when we get home, yes, and the last thing we do is, like, watch TV usually. Yeah, we'll lay in bed and watch a movie sometimes at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do a happy hour usually, like, once a week or something. And then our playtime is usually
When we're off
on the weekends
because
or a day
because I
off.
work. Yeah.
But yeah, just making that time for it, not fitting it in, planning it, and making it a priority. So make it fun. Don't make it like, oh, I gotta do this thing, and
We love like haunted houses. The sanctuary here in Oklahoma City, we used to go to that when it was open.
Mm-hmm.
Several times a year, because that's fun. That was fun. We went to a few hockey games because that was fun. We go to as many concerts as we can. You know why? Because it's fun. The things we do a lot of times, we try to do it because it is fun. It's not just fun for her. It's not just fun for me. We have fun, and that's what you've got to find those things that you get older, you can still have fun. Don't think, oh, I'm too old to have fun anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I see sometimes. So make it fun. There's a lot of fun things we do, and sometimes I drag her into the fun. So she's like, oh, I don't know. And then once we do it, we're having fun. So I'm always the picture taker, and let's have fun, and shout out and yell and scream, and so that's a fun time. Make it fun.
It's a lot more fun with two people for sure. Sometimes keep it a surprise. Some people don't like its surprises, but I feel like most people do. So take turns being the planner, and okay, so maybe like this maybe once a month you take turns, like this is going to be my month to plan the surprise event that we do. I love surprises.
So and then again, this depends on your budget. At the time, I took Crystal to Hawaii, our first vacation together, and that was part of the surprise. Was that in the airport they gave her a lei, and I surprised her many times on that trip with different things. And same thing when we went to Ireland. Again, your budget. I had the budget to do it at the time. Surprised her with things in Ireland. That's where I proposed, and so. Those things as guys, and really true. I understand, guys. It's harder for us. It's really hard. I'm a big planner. I'm all about notes and boxes and check marks, but at the same time, I like to surprise too for different things. But sometimes my surprises are smaller. Last night, brought her home a hat. I mean, it's not her favorite hat in the world, but I thought it was cool, you know. But it's a surprise. So little surprises are always great. Crystal's always surprising me with little things all the time, shirts and clothes and stuff that she knows that I need that I usually would not probably buy for myself. And, but then they go to something, okay? She'll give me something and it'll be like, oh, this is what we're gonna do for this project or this thing we're gonna go do, and so it always makes it more exciting. We did some stuff at Rocklahoma, and she bought lots of surprises up until we went to Rocklahoma for me to wear and for us to do there. So you know, make it fun, make it a surprise. It's good.
That's always fun. It's always nice to get something unexpected, or to have a trip unexpected, or it can be simple, very simple things. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It kind of takes you back to a childlike state when you're little and somebody gives you a present. Like, remember that feeling. Like, it's just so exciting. And keep it interesting. Add some variety. Like, switch it up. Like, don't do the same thing all the time. Like, if you run out of ideas, like, it's not that difficult. Like, just get online.
Just write us, Crystal at wingsrelationship.com.
Write us. I've got a blog for fall date ideas. I'm actually considering writing a small like booklet for date ideas. So stand by for that.
Nice. Can't wait to read it.
Yes. Add some friends. This has been a difficulty for ours, and I almost forgot to include it
because we're weird.
And Jack reminded me,
I'm
like,
weird.
Oh my God, mind blown. Like, this is a huge thing for us. Actually, we are strange.
Yeah.
We feel like we're kind of the odd couple out.
We're tattooed.
It's always been,
we're refrained in a lot of things.
People find us a little bit odd.
Yep.
We're very outspoken. We don't hold back. We don't have anything to hide. So
we're not into politics.
We don't. Yeah, we don't.
So people go somewhere and talk about politics or world news, which probably not our thing.
We don't do serious.
Yeah.
We do fun.
But with trivia, we'll do trivia.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But just we're fun to hang out with. I don't, the problem is that some people are very serious about a lot of stuff in life, and that's fine to a point. But you gotta enjoy yourself in life. It's too short. So we've both been through. Crystal's worked in juvenile homes with kids who need help. I was a police officer 20 years. We've done the serious, we've done the heartbreak and stuff, and we just want to have fun and laugh and help people to build better relationships.
Yes. So if you have friends, definitely throw some friends in there. If you have a couple friends or even single friends that are fun, or fun enough to go and willing to go out, a lot of times, it's kind of been my experience or our experience that some couples don't. They're just kind of homebodies, or single people that they don't want to go out. But if you have some friends that are cool enough and fun enough that want to go out and hang out and do fun stuff, definitely add them in, because a lot of times it's like the more the merrier.
And you'll meet people, because we met Matthew, who's Mr.
Yes.
Fireball. And we watched him last night on his crazy karaoke family on Facebook, singing and having a good time. But he talked about helping people. He talked about different things. It was just, we fell in love with him, and we're going to help him make a calendar. Mr. Fireball calendar. I'll put a link below when we keep up with us, because we want to sell some calendars because it's so fun. He's such a sweet guy, and Mr. Fireball, I hope you're watching. Because I think that it's people like you, when people like us meet you, it makes our hearts feel great.
And that's what everything we do is just about relationships. That's the foundation of everything that we do, not just couples, but friendships, family. Everything that we do is that's how we're spreading the word about what we do. So that's what this is all about for us. Be creative. Kind of goes back to keep it interesting. Be creative. See what you can come up with. If you really think about it, you can come up with some really fun and interesting things. So
That's why it actually surprised her the first time when we went to the sanctuary. It was for Valentine's. It was the haunted house for Valentine's. And I didn't tell her until we got there what we were doing. And then, because I knew deep down inside she loves horror and stuff. And so I was like, I know that she would love it. And she did. And we went every time. They had it out during the year until I don't know if it's even around anymore.
It's so sad that it's.
But that's one of those things that I took. I had to invest in figuring out things that, and I still try to do that. It's not, with the COVID happening and everything, it's been a lot tougher this last year. But hopefully things are getting better, and we can do some more fun things like that.
Hopefully so. And again, I mean, things could get worse at any time. We talked about that before. Do things while you can. I mean, you never know when things might just
When
stop.
COVID hit, we did some different things. We watched Blue October live on the internet. And we sat on the porch and had a big party of just me and her.
Right.
Set up the video, the iPad outside, and had to fix some food and just hung out. And that was our live concert because we hadn't had it in a long time. We watched Korn live on TV. That was the boys and everybody in the living room because you couldn't go see concerts at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we love concerts. So there's always something to do.
Always.
And it doesn't always, it doesn't tear up your pocketbook.
Yes. So be creative because, some people don't want to get out right now because of COVID or they're immunocompromised or like us, sometimes you just don't have the dough, man. We don't have the dough a lot of times. Especially after Oklahoma, we're pretty dang broke right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to be staying home for a while. There's so much fun stuff that you can do at home if you just, use your imagination. So don't be boring. Don't do the same thing all the time. Be ready and be excited about your fun playtime together, and it'll always be fun if you're ready and excited.
If it's things that you want to do together and you both love it, that's great because you're going to be excited. But those times that you're taking one for the team, be positive, right?
Yes.
Be happy about those times because you're going to make your spouse or your loved one or your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're going to make them excited that you're participating. I'll tell you, there's nothing more exciting than when Crystal, wore her jersey and hung out the football, and that was super exciting to me. Even though I knew deep down inside, she's probably like, "Oh my God!"
Even if you're
horrible.
a little bit like,
But
don't be like. I mean, come on, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying, right?
right. And so
Be positive.
it's the same thing as we went out with. When we meet people we like to hang out with, and they want to do something different than what we do. I mean, we're not karaoke people. We don't go sing karaoke. I'm a horrible singer. Crystal's probably pretty good.
I'm just too shy.
Yeah, and so
About getting up in front of people.
but we have friends who like karaoke.
I love to sing.
And if Jenna and Marshall want to go sing karaoke, guess what? We're going to go with them and do
Yes.
it because we know that that's something they love, and we'd have fun doing
We'll
it.
just have lots of drinks first. And
I'll
the same
sing.
with,
I get up there and sing, but I'll suck.
with football, like you can always add something with it that's fun. So
Football bingo, we have that.
yeah. So these are some things that can happen within your relationship if you don't play together, like some kind of not really repercussions, but I would say some things that can
Occur,
kind of maybe
fester themselves.
I can't think of a good word. Wither, just
It happens.
occur
Yeah.
within your relationships if you don't play together.
You can,
Psychologically, your relationship just becomes mundane. Individually, low mood, depression, your partner doesn't care as much for themselves or for you, anxiety, Your partner may look for other ways to entertain themselves. Self-doubt, blame and self-blame, withdrawal. Withdrawal?
Withdrawals.
Oh my God.
From Oklahoma and Texas.
I cannot say that word today. Withdrawal.
They may have withdrawal.
There. Withdrawal. This is extreme, but they may want to leave the relationship. Unfortunately, some people are that extreme with, and that is a very extreme situation.
If they don't
case.
leave, then they have resentment.
Resentment, yes.
They're mad.
Mhm.
They unfortunately begin to hate their partner, and that may end up with them leaving. And it's all because you're just not figuring out things to do together. One partner, unfortunately, and there are some relationships I've seen that they're happy with sitting home watching TV, but the other partner's not. They want to get out and do things, and so you've got to come to that reality that there are nights you're going to sit and watch TV together. That's fine, but you've got to have other nights. You've got to do date nights. You've got to take a picnic. You've got to sit out on the porch and people watch. Do something, just spend some time together.
Right. Your relationship's not going to be, fun and exciting every minute of every day, obviously, but, put some energy into it, and make it interesting is what we're saying, at least part of the time. So what does the play do for your relationship? Well, it strengthens bond and intimacy, encourages communication and conflict resolution, promotes relationship happiness, obviously, helps us to learn spontaneity, which is important. Spontaneity. I cannot talk today.
Spontaneity. Okay.
Which is important for our love life and intimacy. This creates excitement and all too often is lost in relationships. It strengthens friendship, which is, after all, should be the foundation for any intimate relationship. It's the most important aspect, in my opinion, and everyone's opinion. A big one is it relieves stress. It keeps our mental and developmental skills sharp. For those of us that are aging, that's really important. It helps you learn more about your partner, and as you continue in your relationship and you've been in your relationship for a while, this is really important skill to have. Learning about your partner is extremely important. We talk about this in coaching a lot. Continuing to learn about your partner. Can't stress that enough.
And that even happens with us. There'll be times we'll say something and Crystal's like, "Oh, I didn't know you liked that." And I'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know you liked it too." So,
you think you know everything about your partner. Trust me, you don't. The best thing you can do, one of the best things that you can be for your partner is a student, and to just always want to learn more about them. And trust me when I say that they will notice that eagerness of you wanting to learn about them. So really important. I can't read my notes. It makes no sense.
which one? Oh, that's what you're talking about. What Plato was said. So Plato once.
Oh, Plato.
Plato, yeah, the philosopher.
I was like, why does it say Plato?
Yeah, the
Plato.
philosopher.
The philosopher Plato.
Yes.
But my iPad auto-corrected to Plato, like Plato.
Yes.
Once said, this is a really great quote. Once said, you can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. That's amazing.
So we've done driving, like we're driving, and I'm horrible about staying awake sometimes when I'm driving. So Crystal will do some kind of trivia or some kind of question thing to play, keeps me awake, and she actually learns things about me, and vice versa. I learn stuff about her. Just do questioning and trivia and talking, and so that's pretty fun. And I did get the Play-Doh thing. I knew it. Correct. I knew it.
I do a lot of my notes, texting when I'm driving for work, so that's where that came from. Sorry. Yeah. So if you think about it, a lot of people can hide who they are in conversation. This is really interesting. But in real life, play, their true natural self tends to surface.
Or a couple of glasses of vodka. They're true.
Or that too, yes.
That's me. My son made fun because I did my last couple interviews on YouTube, and I had a few little vodka drinks, and the Jack, the real Jack, he calls it, comes out. I'm definitely more funny, more crazy, and more verbal when I have my vodka. So it's pretty funny when even my son says that the real Jack, because when I'm not, sometimes I'm a quiet, reserved guy. I know it's hard to believe, but I really am at times.
But yeah, so make a plan with your partner and make it happen. Get out the calendar and share it with your partner. Try not to let it slip. I mean, and this is the hardest part. Once you start letting it slip, it'll always slip. One thing that Jack and I do with like our appointments and stuff is we'll do a family calendar on our iPhones and we share it. So that's one just kind of tip that you can do that makes it kind of fun. You can share and you can both see it on your phones. So some basic
Have you
rules.
do a surprise, and you kind of know that when they're not at work or when they're not on some kind of project, it helps you.
Yes.
Helps you, to surprise them with stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So some basic rules: take turns, make a budget. Doesn't always have to be outside of the house. So like we said before, it can be in your backyard. It doesn't always have to be dressing up. It doesn't have to always be planned. Just make time, make a promise to each other. Don't plan things that you know your partner hates, unless you are just planning on taking one for the team occasionally.
Like Crystal will come home and she'll be dressed up from work or somewhere, and I'm like, perfect, because I do photography. I'm like, I'm taking pictures of you tonight. You look great, and she's like, okay. She's like, into that look and modeling type stuff, and I'm into photography and gives me practice, and so we do that, and that's kind of fun for both of us. We have a good time doing that. So
yeah, definitely. So this is really important to stay in the moment. So if there's one thing that you take away from this section of it, remember this: stay in the moment. Stay free from distraction and interruptions. Put your phone down and put it on silent.
my phone's always on silent.
And sometimes it's easy to start talking about things while you're playing or doing stuff, but save that stuff for, another time. Like important matters, like, stuff that's like not...
Yeah.
You can talk about that stuff later. Make sure that you're practicing teamwork. This might be difficult if your partner is competitive.
Who do we know is competitive?
Remember, you're trying to strengthen your
I
bond.
like to win.
You're trying to strengthen your bond, not drive it apart.
But I'm a happy loser. I'm not a sore loser. I don't lose, but I'm not a sore loser.
So some things that we do, we kind of talked about before: concerts. We like music festivals, games. We have a duck pond here in town. We've done that before
Board
a couple
games.
of times.
Don't let board games. We're not talking about video games. Talking about board games, and that's the fun. Board games are very competitive. I usually win, but they're fun. So don't forget those are actually fun.
Board games are so much fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
think
get
that-
your family, your kids involved.
I think some people forget about board games, and so I just want to mention that.
Family game night.
The duck pond, great for
couple game
photography
night.
also, walking your dog.
Yeah.
It's just
You
seeing the
take your dogs
views.
along.
Doesn't cost anything to walk around there.
We've done the YouTube concert in bed thing before.
I'm bad about that.
Jack loves that.
I'm
That's
bad
fun.
about being a DJ and the singer.
So TV series with popcorn in bed. That's kind of
We
fun.
love like Outlander. We used to love Game of Thrones and Vikings.
Yeah.
So there's several series that we really loved, and
Yes.
so enjoy those times because you know that's
Yes. Those are fun things. Marathons. We're just kind of throwing some ideas out here at you that we enjoy. Music on the back porch with like your chimenea. If you have a swing, we have a little swing that we like to sit on. Pool time, if you've got a pool. Fine. And then these are kind of just some simple, like everyday opportunities and just like little crazy things. Things around you that you can make special. Like Jack and I kiss each other goodbye every day. Just simple things.
I'm the best at it. I'm the best kisser. Oh, sorry.
So like he'll dip me to greet me with a kiss at the end of the day a lot of times when I get home. Like that's a play thing.
Because I'm romantic.
Yes, and I mean that's special to me, right? Not every person does that. So grab the booty, spank the booty. Those are play things,
I like the
right?
booty. I hear the booty.
Yeah.
I like the booty.
How many people out there do that? I mean, that's fun. It's, my kids all be like, bleh.
Yeah.
But it's
Yes.
funny. I mean, they laugh too. They act like they're getting sick, but I mean, they think it's funny too. Let's be honest. Dance in your kitchen. Embarrass your kids by smooching in front of them. Smooch in public. We play with our dogs a lot. Go on a picnic. We do a lot of pub hopping. That's fun. Discover new restaurants. We talked about Art Walk. We have a Art Walk here locally that we do every second Friday.
Yep.
So find some like local things in your town that you can do.
It's nothing major. It
involved
doesn't
in.
cost us anything. We just walk.
This stuff's all free.
We just walk around and look at the art.
You
Look at
can
the
buy
look at the
things,
people walk.
obviously, but
The people walk and it's fun.
it is fun. If you like animals, you can volunteer with animals. There's a local rescue that we sometimes volunteer with. We started an animal advocacy that we
shout out animal stuff.
We shout out animal stuff and do some interesting things with that. We are not a rescue though.
Not a rescue,
Um,
but we did a couple videos during the wintertime of people not putting their dogs in homes when it's cold, and we kind of took heart to that this last winter, and we shot out a lot of stuff and actually did some live videos on that, and that was and we're talking about playing together and doing stuff. That was very serious. But at the same time, we did it together, and we enjoyed it because we were helping
Right.
others and animals.
But things like that you enjoy. But we do volunteer. We help at a rescue. There's a rescue locally that we help. Going to animal adoptions, trivia. We like doing that together. So did any of that spark any ideas for you guys? Everybody has different ideas.
We don't know if you don't email us.
To
Tell us.
them. Yeah, we would love your feedback. Those of you that have been watching our podcasts now for a while, we would like to hear what's been good for you. Maybe some things that you have suggestions for, or things that have been kind of like things that you'd like to hear us talk about, questions.
So Crystal or
awkward
Jack
conversations,
at wingsrelationships.com.
dirty secrets. Yes. So things you can do with your partner, things you enjoy together. We'd like to hear those things.
You may give us an idea of something we didn't think about.
Yes. Yes. So.
Are you playing together right now? Are you like sitting, listening to this podcast together? This is your playtime together right now, listening to our podcast. I hope so. Maybe so.
Yes. So sometimes in the relationships, one partner is more about play than the other. So you just need to be more open to that. Both partners need to be open to it. Just remember that this is very important to the survival of your relationship. It's really important to stick with it. Some people have a really difficult time with this, and just remember, if this is something, an area that your relationship you feel like you need help with, or your partner is not very open to this, or you're having kind of a difficult time with it, this is something that coaching can help with. For some people, there are some deeper issues there that are a little bit difficult for one partner to address, and sometimes for some couples therapy can feel a little bit more, I don't want to say pushy because that's not really the word that I'm looking for, but for a lot of couples coaching can feel a little less intimidating. So just keep in mind that coaching can help kind of be a third party that can kind of help that along, bring these ideas into practice.
And again, if you go on wingsrelationship.com, you can actually set up an appointment for a 15-minute free coaching session with Crystal and kind of talk about maybe what you're looking for to see if it's right for you.
To see if it would be something that might help you. So anyway, thank you for watching.
So yeah, again, just all those things that we talked about before, just making sure that you're letting us know. Again, Crystal at wingsrelationship.com, Jack at wingsrelationship.com, wingsandrelationships.com, where you find a lot of our information. Also, check me out on Gentle Peach Creative Studios. That's my photography and the YouTube. And again, this is something we do all together. This is our dream to hopefully do this full time. Don't forget that you can go sponsor us every month on here on Anchor. I think it's like 99 cents a month or something like that. More than you pay more for a Coke, and it would help us get more equipment, help us to do a better job at podcasting. So we definitely appreciate that. Visit our sponsors that we talked about earlier, and again to the bands, Sign of Lives, Perseus, my shirt. So awesome meeting y'all, and they let me do the interview. I also did Fist of Rage. I did an interview with them also, and making those contacts that you make with your friends and family and people you meet. So Mr. Fireball and all the people we met at Rocklahoma. Thanks for watching. We'll let you get back to your regular daily lives, and we'll see you later. Have a good day.